Hello there. Now we're going to begin this story. It's called Ebony and the Diesel Delivery Driver. It's another tale from Ivy House, New Bolingbroke, from about 1978. This has just been written, so it doesn't appear in the books. Ruth often tells me that the horse cost £600 and we got a free cat, or that the cat cost £600 and we got a free shire horse. Whatever version you might wish to favour, the tale goes on like this. The cat was called Wharton, after the village near Gainsborough where he and that horse came from. It was a holy terror, the cat that is, and when on a visit to the local vets, transported by a kind neighbour, caused an uproar. The cat escaped somewhere in the surgery. It hated strangers and, even worse, anything to do with health care, especially aimed at cats. When asked by the vet if he could help extract the cat from under a cupboard, the neighbour knew better than getting involved. "Not on your life," he said. "I know what damage that cat can do." The horse was a far more docile creature. Even when removing his stable door and door frame and wandering about the stable yard with the same hanging round his neck, he was not greatly bothered. When the time came for him to have that operation, well, he didn't know much about it really. It was all the folk around him that became much amused. Firstly, when operating on a horse of this size, the vet has to take many precautions. The drug he uses to knock out the horse is very potent and highly dangerous. A whiff of the liquid on your skin will result in virtual instant death. If I remember correctly, the vet once told me there was enough in his syringe to kill all the people in our village. So the vet has to have an assistant with him at all times. The assistant carries the antidote already drawn up in another syringe, ready to administer to the vet if an accident were to happen and the vet was touched by that drug, Immobilon. Once the drug has been given to the horse, he, as it is only he's that have the operation, is led round in a tight circle, aiming at the exact spot you want him to fall. Fall he does, and very quickly. The vet then has limited time to get to work before the horse wakes up again. Ebony was a big horse, and to get to the operation site we had to lift one of his back legs up and out of the way. We landed him close to a tall clothes post, one of those with prongs across the top to hold the clothesline. The actual post we used had been made for Ruth by Ray Picker, the manager of Rundle's Iron Foundry, which was located just across the other side of the basin from our garden. The basin is the terminus of the 19th century water transport system from Boston to New Bolingbroke. More of this in another story. Ray had taken pity on Ruth one day while she struggled with an old rickety clothes post, and came round to help with a new one he'd made himself, which he kindly planted in the stable yard. This was the strong post we enlisted to help lift Ebony's leg. We actually used a block and tackle from our sailing boat to effect the lift. So there we have it. Ebony has been knocked out by the vet, who's beginning his quick operation on Ebony's. You see, it's essential with big horses. If they're not to be used for breeding, it makes them more docile, prevents all kinds of antagonism and with other horses, and easier to mix with females without getting involved with otherwise sexual attractions and subsequent activities. Perhaps on reflection, but no, we must not go down that path in a story for families. It was in the midst of all this activity that we had a delivery of road diesel for the lorries in our business. The delivery driver was looking for someone to confirm that he had chosen the correct tank to fill from his lorry. "My goodness," he said, "has the horse got something wrong with his leg?" he asked in all innocence. Ruth replied by telling the driver that the horse was being gelded. The driver did not understand, so Ruth had to explain to him just what gelding meant. The explanation coming from a female, I think, must have added to his embarrassment. He disappeared like the proverbial rocket, perhaps thinking that if he hung around too long, it might be his turn next. In these circumstances, the horse normally recovers very quickly, especially after being given a dose of the antidote. There is just a feeling of perhaps something missing. Fortunately, we'll never know quite how it feels. Ebony recovered well and was quickly back in the swing of things. There we are, that's the end of that little story. Hope you enjoyed it. Brought to you by Cracker Books, written and read by Keith Sanders. If you like this little story about Ebony, just want to tell you can find more Ebony stories and find them in It's a Rum Life Book 3, Ivy House Tales, 1970 to 1984. You can see them on this YouTube site, some of them, or you can find them by looking at our website and the adverts coming up next. So there are some more, and they're all equally entertaining. Now, can we ask that if you enjoy listening to our stories, then perhaps you might give us a like on this YouTube site, and the YouTube people will then know that you like it. Also, if you were to subscribe to our channel, then YouTube will let you know just as soon as we produce something different. Now, by way of a little advert, you can watch all other Cracker Books publications by finding the links on our website, which is our second website this year, 2022, because the previous web host let us down. Anyway, this one's provided by a firm called Jimdo. It's quite easy to use and we like it. You might have to copy and paste some of the links onto your own browser, and it does prefer you to use it on Google Chrome or Firefox. It doesn't work on Edge. The website address is www.crackerbooks.fr. Now that's easy to remember, isn't it? www.crackerbooks.fr. And on that site you can see all details about our publications, and then you can choose what to look at next. There's hours and hours of entertainment, so we do hope you have a look and can take it further. In the meantime, thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time.